the law, okay? Well, who enforces that law? Well, the person that enforces that law is the executive branch. Who are they? That's the president. The president or the governor will sign the law into law. Yes, sign the bill into law. Thank you, young man. And then what do we have the judicial branch do? The judicial branch, and that's who we are, we interpret the law. So when you break the law, how could you break a law? If the light's red and you run it, does that mean you've broken the law? Yes, because the law says you cannot run a red light. So if you go through it, even if you don't get caught, you have still broken the law. And that's what we do here. What we do here in our court is we do that. We are the ones that interpret that law and say whether or not what you did was wrong or right, and whether or not it was a good law or a bad law and something that should be thrown out. That all happens through the judge, the prosecuting attorney, and the defense attorney. So it's a whole process that goes in. It's not just the judge who determines, but also the prosecuting attorney, who is the government. He'll come in. Anybody watch Law and Order? Yeah, Jack McCoy, okay? If anybody watches that, Jack McCoy, okay? He's your prosecutor. And then you have your defense, and your defense counsel is very important because what if you didn't do it? What if you didn't run that red light? You want somebody there standing up for you, telling you you didn't run that red light. That's what this whole process is about here in the court. And in order to do that, there's procedures and rules. Believe me, if you think you have a lot of rules at home, come on in the courtroom. There's a lot of rules in a courtroom. What I'm going to do now is hand you out a little diagram, unless someone wants to help me hand out a little diagram, of what the court actually looks like. So when we go downstairs, you'll be able to see what the court looks like. Now, who's in charge of your classroom? The teacher. Well, guess who's in charge of a courtroom? The judge. There's a judge in charge of a courtroom. And we're going to get ready to go downstairs to a courtroom where you'll get presented with your awards and you'll be able to see the judge. A couple of little things. A courtroom is a very serious place. And because it is a very serious place, we have to make sure we don't do a lot of talking, we don't do a lot of laughing. If you have any cell phones, young man, if anybody has a cell phone, please make sure that it is set, it's off or at vibrate or something. And that's what, and when we go into the courtroom, the person who's in charge in there is going to be the judge. And she is going to sit on what's called a bench. Now, it doesn't really look like a bench. If everybody can look at their diagram, it's just kind of at the front. And when you see benches, what do you think? You think a park bench. That's not what, it's just kind of a big place where she sits above everybody else. Now, she wears a robe. Does anybody know why she wears a robe? Basically, the tradition of wearing a robe dates all the way back to the Roman era and togas. Does anybody know what a toga is? Well, my generation knows what togas are because you guys probably don't want to know this, but we used to have parties where you wear togas. But that was a very, very long time ago. A toga was worn in the Roman Empire, and it's just like a big, it looks like a big sheet that you wear. And that's what started the tradition of wearing robes. And over the years, a robe comes to symbolize authority. It comes to symbolize a solemn event. And that's where the judges started wearing robes. But why do they wear black robes? Anybody have that idea? You always see a judge wearing a black robe most of the time. Again, just tradition or judge preference. The Court of Appeals in Maryland, they wear red robes with white piping. Yeah, I tell you what, they're just setting a party in the Court of Appeals. But most other judges are going to wear a black robe, and they do that because the court is a very solemn place. It's a place to go to conduct business. It can be a very serious place if it's a court where your life is on the line, where you have committed a crime where the penalty is death. And there are those laws. And so the court can be a very solemn place. But today the court's going to be a very happy place because we're going to get awards. So it can go either way. But that's what you have to remember about the judge, and that's why they wear their robes. And like I said, some of them were black, most of them were black, some were red. We got a judge, I think, in the Ninth Circuit that wears a blue one, Judge Roberts. Chief Justice Rehnquist, when he was the Chief Justice at the U.S. Supreme Court, he added things on his robe because an opera, he had went to see an opera, and the guy in the opera had these gold pipings on his robe, and he thought that was really cool. And he was Chief Justice, so he did it. So that was really nice. Now, like I said, the judge is in charge of the courtroom. And the judge is going to have a gavel. The gavel is going to symbolize the beginning of the session and the end of the session. Okay? So look for all that. You've got your diagram. Let's go on down and meet our judge. And
before we do, we're going to have all of the poster contest winners grab your winning poster and take it down, okay? So you can show the judge all your beautiful artwork. So I believe, Clemencia, right? Is this yours? Thank you.